All right. So we've learned how to edit. We've learned how to open up an image, taking the highlights down, bringing the shadows up, bringing the blacks up, flattening it out, brightening it up, and then adding in our contrast down here with our backward C type of edit, and then adding a little bit of contrast. We've learned how to do this kind of edit. Now it's time for some advanced troubleshooting. What is wrong with this picture? That's the question we're asking right now. Can you guys figure out what's wrong with this picture? The thing with this picture is there's multiple things that is wrong with this picture. To start with, look at his face. Whoa. It's orangish, but it's greenish. What if we just made it less orange and less green? That's better. But now that we've added more purple in, actually these really intense purples are from something else. Okay, so this is what you need to do after you do your whole basic edit thing of opening up the image, then adding in some contrast. Then you have to take a hard look at your photo and be like, okay, what's wrong with it now? What needs to be fixed? And in this case, this photo has multiple things wrong. And so why did I take a photo in this spot? That's the real question, right? We had picked out this spot in case it was really cloudy, and it was really cloudy. So we drove out to this spot, and as soon as we got out there, the clouds parted, and here we were in bright sunshine, which was spring sunshine, which is even worse. And so now we have, because of the sunshine, we have this green grass hitting his face and other parts of her. And then we have the bright sunshine creating purple strands. And when we correct the green, we end up with like this purple haze over everything. Just slight, but enough to be like, Okay, so how are we going to change this? The first thing, the easy thing to do, is we can get rid of all this purple hair if we just go down to lens correction. If you look at this, look at that. Purple hair? No purple hair. Now there's some interesting things going on here. But I'm just going to leave it at 6. I have had trouble in the past with going too far over where the lips ended up losing some of their color. So you want to check and make sure if they're wearing a purple sweater. It makes it even harder because you can be taking out some of the purple. You don't want to turn things gray on them. I don't really see any of that happening here, so I think I'm okay. Okay, the next thing I really don't like about this photo is the green. So for back at the top, we have our main thing, our tone curve, and then we have color mixers. Now color mixers is where you can do all kinds of things with your green. Look at that, I can just strip them out. I wouldn't take it down that much, maybe, but you can do what you want. We're gonna take them down, and I'm gonna add a little bit of, do I want to add, you can make your greens yellow, or you can take them to the bluish side. Most photographers will take them a little bit to the bluish side. And that's just a little bit better. You have the option of taking the luminance down or the luminance up, but you can see how we are limited back there by how much we can do. So I think something like that. I'm going to add a little bit more pop by bringing that light up. Nice. All right. I think I'm liking it. What's going on with his face though? I think here you can toggle on and off. You can see some of those green hues and then they're gone. So this button here toggles your effect on and off so you can see the before and after. Really handy. Okay, I'm liking this, I think. Ooh, I can't go too blue, otherwise that's a problem, right? So, what if I'm somewhere around there? Now, I think he is darker, so I think we need to add in yellow for her skin and then maybe back off his skin slightly. Let's see. I'm just going to do some adjusting here just so we can make this a little more dramatic, bringing up those shadows and bringing down the blacks. If you're trying to get super light and airy, you want to bring up shadows and blacks. If there's someone who's dark-haired, she's not dark-haired, but she has some darker features. I like pulling that black back down because it's like, ooh, a little bit punchy. Okay, let's deal with his face. One thing you could do besides this color mixer is you can go all the way down to the bottom, and this saturation slider, you can just look how nicely it took out the color, but it also took out the color on her, which is not what we're going for. Okay. So in this case, this is not the situation I want to be in for very many photos because it's time consuming. But in this case, I would probably come to a radial gradient. You go to your brush, little dot thing, brush, and then you can choose a brush, a radial gradient. I like radial gradients just because it gives you a smooth. All right. I have different options here. Let's go to exposure though, and I'm going to cool his skin down so it's not quite as orange. And I'm going to take some of the saturation down and then bring a little in with the contrast. Let's see how that looks. You know, he's still a little green. It's amazing what color cast can do. Ooh. So I'm bringing in some purple. I'm not sure, but bringing up the whites. But I think that's pretty accurate on what his skin looked like. Now I still do have a little bit of green right there. But, okay, so basically what am I doing here? I'm changing, if someone is green, I'm going to pull this slider right here towards the purple. You don't want to be that purple, do you? Somewhere around here. And that color corrects. Now, in some cases, I will decide, you know what? This is worth my while to do something extra. So I will come in and I'll just use exposure. And I will actually brush their teeth for them. Or teeth whiten, which is kind of nice. Alright, so what would you need to do to make something yellow or white? Just add blue. And actually a little bit of purple too usually helps. And then bring up and you can see his teeth are whitened. Now if I was perfecting this, generative AI takes longer, so I will often do it without. Just getting rid of little imperfections. Okay, I could get carried away with this, but I just wanted to show you how the brush can work when you have just a minimal amount of color adjusting to do. Woo. We got very bright white teeth. Now would I keep the teeth that white? I'm not sure, but that is almost where I want this. Now, what would I do if I wanted to make this even better? I think I might like make this not so traditional light and airy. I might actually go with a more muted and come down here with the saturation and pull those down. Maybe not that much. So I've really pulled the saturation down and I've gone a little bit more pink because adding bluish green makes people more pink. So I'll add some orange. That is probably where I would land with it unless I did black and white. In which case, all our troubles go away. Because, yeah, this photo just had so many color cast issues because it was spring spring sunlight in an open green field, and we've got that purple haze and the green color cast, and in this case I would make it a black and white. So I'm going to bring up the darks and the light. Your sea is going to look more like a flat top mountain in this case, and something like that. Okay, that is all for this very complicated lesson on color casts.